6 things Christians should never do in intimacy before it costs you your peace. Let me ask you something, and be honest with yourself. Have you ever felt close to someone, but somehow farther from peace afterward? Not guilty, not ashamed, just quietly empty. You still prayed, you still believed, but something inside felt unsettled. And nobody warned you about this part, because we talk a lot about sin and rules. But we rarely talk about how intimacy reshapes the heart. This video is not here to judge you, it's here to protect you. Because some intimacy doesn't break you loudly, it drains you silently. Intimacy is powerful. That's why it can heal deeply. And that's why it can damage deeply too. When intimacy is handled without wisdom, it doesn't just affect relationships. It affects your clarity, identity, and peace. Let's talk honestly. Thing number 1, confusing attention with love. This is one of the most common traps, and one of the most dangerous, because attention feels personal. It feels intentional. It feels like someone finally sees you. They reply fast. They listen to your problems. They laugh at your jokes. They remember small details. And slowly, without noticing, your heart starts saying, maybe this is love. But here's the truth. Most people learn too late. Attention makes you feel chosen. Love makes you feel secure. Attention comes when it's convenient. Love remains when it's costly. When intimacy is built on attention, something unhealthy starts forming. You begin checking your phone too often. Your mood depends on their response. Silence feels personal. Distance feels like rejection. That's not love. That's emotional dependency. And emotional dependency doesn't grow you. It controls you. You stop asking, is this good for my peace? You start asking, how do I keep this feeling? That's when intimacy becomes a trap instead of a blessing. Thing number 2, ignoring inner discomfort. Let's talk about that feeling you can't explain. Nothing is technically wrong. No argument, no obvious red flag. But something inside you feels tight. Your chest feels heavy. Your mind feels restless. Your spirit feels unsettled. And instead of listening, you say, I'm overthinking. I'm being dramatic. It's probably nothing. But here's something important. Peace never pressures you. Discomfort is not fear. Discomfort is information. Your spirit senses misalignment before your mind can explain it. When intimacy requires you to silence your intuition, justify unease, push past inner resistance, you're not moving in faith, you're overriding wisdom. Every time you ignore inner discomfort, you train yourself to distrust your own discernment. And that's costly, because the same voice you silence in relationships is the one meant to guide you in life. Thing number 3, sharing too much too soon. This one feels holy, but it's not always healthy. Deep conversations, late-night talks, sharing wounds, fears, childhood pain. It feels like connection. It feels spiritual. It feels rare. But depth without foundation creates false intimacy. You feel close, but you're actually exposed. When someone knows your trauma before they've proven consistency, they don't hold your heart. They access it. And access without responsibility is dangerous. Oversharing too soon creates emotional attachment without safety, bonding without trust, vulnerability without protection. True intimacy unfolds in stages. It doesn't rush. It doesn't demand emotional nakedness early. It doesn't confuse disclosure with closeness. If someone earns your story slowly, they value it. If someone rushes your story, they may only want connection, not commitment. If you've recognized yourself in even one of these, don't feel ashamed. Awareness doesn't mean failure. It means growth has started. Thing number 4, using intimacy to fill loneliness. Loneliness changes how decisions feel. When you're lonely, you don't think in wisdom. You think in relief. You're not asking, is this aligned with my peace? You're asking, can this make me feel less empty right now? That's when intimacy becomes a temporary escape instead of a healthy connection. Loneliness whispers lies, like, this is better than being alone. At least someone wants me. I'll fix the rest later. But intimacy doesn't heal loneliness. It reveals it. If you're empty inside, intimacy won't complete you. It will attach you to something that feels good for a moment and confusing afterward. That's why many people feel more attached but less fulfilled, more connected but more anxious, less alone physically but lonelier emotionally, because they used intimacy as a solution instead of addressing the root. Loneliness needs healing, not closeness at any cost. Thing number 5, normalizing what drains your peace. This one is subtle and dangerous. It doesn't start loud. It starts with justification. You say, it's not that serious. I can handle it. Everyone goes through this. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't disappear suddenly. It erodes slowly. You don't wake up broken. You wake up tired. Tired of overthinking. Tired of emotional ups and downs. Tired of explaining why something feels wrong. When intimacy costs you mental clarity, emotional stability, inner calm, and you keep calling it normal, you're training yourself to accept damage as growth. Anything that consistently steals your peace is not neutral. Peace is not weakness. Peace is alignment. And anything misaligned will always ask you to compromise quietly. Thing number 6, ignoring how intimacy changes you. Every deep connection leaves a fingerprint, not just on your heart, on your thinking, your expectations, your identity. Some intimacy teaches patience. Some intimacy teaches anxiety. Some intimacy strengthens confidence. Some intimacy creates insecurity. Pay attention to who you become afterward. Ask yourself, am I calmer or more restless? More secure or more doubtful? More focused or more distracted? Intimacy that is healthy adds clarity. Intimacy that is wrong adds confusion. And the danger is not the moment. It's the gradual change. You slowly stop trusting yourself. You slowly start doubting your worth. You slowly lower boundaries you once valued. That's not growth. That's erosion. If a connection changes you in ways you don't recognize, it's time to pause, not push forward. Strong transition. Add before ending. If you've seen yourself in these points, don't panic. Awareness is not condemnation. It's correction. You're not late. You're learning. Some connections enter your life to teach you what peace is not, so you can recognize it when it finally comes. Protect your heart, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. This message connected with something you're feeling but couldn't explain. Like this video so it reaches others who need clarity. If you know someone struggling silently, share this with them. And if you want more honest, deep conversations like this, subscribe and stay connected. You're not alone in this journey.